What joy it brings me to see that Eben touched so many lives, because he truly, obviously touched ours in very deep ways. And to see all of you coming here from all over. Some people came from Canada and some people came from the South, and we're grateful for all of the love that you've shared with us. So love has brought us here today. I want you to know that this gathering would not be the same were it that each and every one of you is here. It would not be the same if each and every one of you were not here. We are grateful that you're here. Eben has touched each one of you with his flair, wild outfits, crazy hair, his kindness, his enthusiasm, and his joyful life. Welcome into this time of deep love and remembrance. As I lay on my couch in the morning after his death, I told Eben that I honored his choice, even though I missed him very much. And he began to speak to me. He told me that he was with Nana and Grandpa and Grammy, and that it was so very beautiful. I asked him, in my own curiosity, what it was like over there. He said, "Mom, it's kind of a surprise." Because he knows I hate waiting for surprises. He told me a few more things. The first thing he told me was, my only task is to go into nature using my eyes, my ears, my nose, my touch, and be completely present to it all. That's your only task, he told me. I love that task. We live that task, and I will do it ever more perfectly. The morning after we had that very beautiful snow, and there was like 4 inches of snow on every single branch, I had just finished journaling about his death. And I went downstairs in the kitchen and I looked out the window and saw the gorgeous snow, and the sun was just starting to come over the horizon. And in some unbelievable way, there was like a constellation of stars in among the trees. And I was just standing there staring at it. And Eben said, "Mom, that's where I am. That's where I am. Heaven is nature all around us. No one needs to wonder where it is. Open your eyes. It's all here." As a baby, Eben was an old and, yes, a great soul. He was calm, curious, and sweet. And his older brother Ian used to say, "When can he play with me?" And that became a lifelong friendship that included travels together and separately, for our family has always valued, from my father, the next great adventure. At 12, he borrowed a surfboard from our neighbor, and Eben was hooked. He would surf even in the coldest winter with his wetsuit and his booties, and I would stand there and watch him in the sea smoke. I couldn't even see him. I used to say, what would I do? How would I even help him if anything happened? And a woman came by with a stroller and a baby. And in my wildness, I said, "Do you know how lucky you are? Your baby's in a stroller. Mine's out there." He pushed the edges of motherhood. One day, as an adult, he said, "Why did you let me do all that?" And I said, "Let you?" I couldn't have stopped him. At 15, there was a snowstorm, and I had just gotten a book called Flatbreads and Flavors, and it had all these different recipes for things from around the world. And the Afghanistan men are the one who makes the bread. So I said, "Do you want to try making bread?" And he went, "Okay." And we made Afghan naan, which the grandchildren still love today. And that kind of set him on this idea of being a baker. So by 18, he had graduated from high school. His brother had finished 2 years of his college. And because Ian had a captain's license, they were able to become crew on a motor sailor going to the Caribbean, to Tortola, first Bermuda. And then it turned out that both of them, Ian as an exchange student in Europe, traveling over the rest of Eastern Europe to Turkey, Eben to the other countries of the world as a surfer. They had a wonderful, lifelong friendship, and I was blessed by both of them. Eben always researched his trips, and this was when Google was brand new, and he would find pictures of point breaks in different countries, but there was no cell phones. There was no way to communicate with him other than the internet, and he would have to pay money and go to an internet cafe in order to give me a one-line email that made me know he was still okay. And he always respected the people where he went. And in Samoa, he told me this story, that he put on, Samoa has a chieftain government, and the chiefs are very important and very powerful. And he went to the chief wearing a lava like a sarong. And he humbly asked the chief if he could surf on his beach. And the chief was so impressed that he said, well, not only can you surf on my beach, but I want you to stay in that hut right there on the beach for as long as you want. Every summer he would come home and work as a baker, Chase Hill Bakery, the pizza place in Kennebunk Port, or with Janie Minuti, who did all these beautiful flowers. He would do gardening with her, because that was another love of his. He also became an urban gardener for wealthy people in Manhattan. In 2009, he married, and in 2010, his little mermaid, Eloise, was born, his beloved daughter, who he loved so much. He loved teaching her to swim and then to surf, and she was so brave and willing. And in Hawaii, they sent pictures of her diving deep with just a snorkel and a mermaid costume on alongside a green turtle. She was fearless, and she still is today. She loved her papa, and he loved her. He also had two stepsons, Liam and Lucian, who he also taught to surf. And he would sometimes talk with Dan about being a stepdad. All who knew Eben were touched by his passion for life and for his loving patience and kindness, his flair and great fun. He was a sacred clown, a funky monk. He was also an artist, and you'll see some of his lino cuts downstairs. He made so many of them, and our plan is to print them for when we gather in the summer and give them to everyone that wants one. After his separation, he began his life anew, and through his artwork and photography, he met Brooke Larrabee. She is also a photographer. He later confided in her that 2 weeks after he met her, he bought a flowered wedding suit because he knew he would marry her. She is the love of his life, and together they found true love. They were very happy traveling, surfing, he taught her, of course, snowboarding, she taught him a few things, and exploring the world. Eben loved her parents, Mary and John, and they join our family along with Brooke today. Eben would have John's help on doing liners, and then after they were all done with a sweaty day, they'd go out to their camp, to John and Mary's camp, and go scurfing, which I still don't completely understand, but it sounded like fun. Eben and Brooke were engaged on May 31st, 2023, without a ceremony. We didn't know we could have done that. So today, that's what we are acknowledging, their marriage. And they are now joining our family and making it bigger and ever more beautiful. Eben has left us bereft. We miss him so, but his presence is clear. He has come to all of his family in certain ways that make him known in such beautiful Eben ways. Through peace within us to console him, to console us, by talking to us, his sometimes not so gentle squeezes. He loves to touch Brooke. His favorite music suddenly on the radio. Yes, Eben fills the very air within this sanctuary of love. and in the beauty of each one of you. Sometimes when my grief feels impossibly hard to bear, I call to him, and his peace floods me, and the pain subsides. The days ahead will be hard. We will always know he's not with us. And yet, his invitation is to go out and have fun, to dance and travel and explore and be silly and wear costumes and make people laugh and do surprising things. He gives us his peace. I know you will feel it here today. Mm-hmm. It was a natural thing for him to love. So take his peace with you. It is his legacy of love. And know that in his dying, he also gave his kidneys to 2 people who now can stop dialysis and have renewed life. We hope to meet them one day. So today we honor his choice, acknowledge his great pain, and celebrate the joy and freedom that he has now. We will always feel his love in and around us and through us forever. And I have learned from all of you who have sent us the most incredible messages, cards, texts, that the prayers that you sent are actually transformative of us, that it lifted us up, that it changed how we felt, that it gave us new ways to think about him and his love. Because we have learned that the only way through this is to love more, to simply love more.